Chaos and confusion rule in the moments after a suicide bomb attack. There are desperate calls to loved ones and attempts to help survivors. None of this is new to Afghanistan, but the weekend attack claimed by Daesh was one of the country's deadliest in more than a decade. At least 80 people died.
We were holding a peaceful demonstration when I heard a bang, and then everyone was escaping and yelling. I saw many people were killed, and most of them were covered in blood. There was no one to help the victims.
The mostly Shia Hazara group were protesting to demand the government direct a major power line through their province. It was a planned demonstration. There was tight security, but it wasn't enough. This was the biggest attack Daesh has carried out in Afghanistan, and the first time it struck in the capital. And it could signify a dangerous turn on the country's road to stability. In the first 6 months of this year, Afghans have been hit with a series of attacks. The United Nations says 5,166 civilians have been caught up in the carnage, the highest figures since it started reporting the human cost in 2009. More than 1,600 have died, more than 3,500 have been injured, and children make up almost 1 in 3 casualties. Anti-government elements are responsible for 60% of the victims. But pro-government forces have also inflicted damage, mostly through combat. Which means Afghans are increasingly being caught in the crossfire from all directions. In the days ahead, the country is set for a new fight. The Afghan military says it's preparing for an offensive against Daesh in the country's east next week. But the Taliban remains the main obstacle to the country's stability. This month, US President Barack Obama pledged to keep 8,400 troops in Afghanistan through to 2017.
The only way to end this conflict and to achieve a full drawdown of foreign forces from Afghanistan is through a lasting political settlement between the Afghan government and the Taliban. That's the only way.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has called on the Taliban to join in peace and reconciliation talks, but so far there's no peace process. And with Afghanistan facing new threats, what cost will be paid by its people and the next generation who are growing up in the path of war? Nathalie Poyhonen, The Newsmakers.